Ariel Powers' beef with Cheryl Reeve. It is Ariel Powers, the new player for the Indiana Fever, who they just signed, and her beef with Cheryl Reeve. And if you guys are wondering why this is relevant, the Indiana Fever tonight are in fact playing the Minnesota Lynx.
So, the WNBA thought things couldn't get messier, but here we are. Indiana Fever's new recruit, Ariel Powers, just reignited her beef with Cheryl Reeve. And trust me, it's pure chaos. From old grudges to new shots being fired, this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's personal. The question is, who's really winning this feud, Ariel or Cheryl? Let's break it down. Do you think Ariel Powers will prove Reeve wrong on the court? Or will this beef end up hurting the Fever more than helping? Let me know in the comments.
The Indiana Fever have signed Ariel Powers to a 7-day hardship contract. A very spicy but very capable player. So let's go over everything there is to know about Ariel Powers.
Now, let's be real. When the Indiana Fever signed Ariel Powers, most fans had the same reaction. Wait, didn't she and Cheryl Reeve practically hate each other? Oh, yes. This isn't some friendly rivalry. This is straight up bad blood. And now the WNBA has a fresh storyline to throw in our faces. Powers back on the floor, this time wearing Indiana colors, while Cheryl Reeve has to coach against her. Cue the drama.
Dawned on me, man, that Cheryl Reeve and Ariel Powers, man, was going at it when she was on that team. Now, she was signed to that team, I think, in 2022. She was actually their top scorer, now that I think about it. She was their top scorer. And all of a sudden, I don't know, they was just clashing a little bit. And then I remember Ariel Powers just coming out and just saying, hey, I want to go to a different team. I want to be on another team. She just blatantly told the world, I don't want to be here anymore, basically.
Here's the setup. The Fever, already battered with injuries and chaos, decided to hand Ariel Powers a 7-day hardship contract. Why? Because half the roster is in walking boots. Caitlin Clark is rehabbing her groin. Sophie Cunningham is out. Sydney Colson is down. Ari McDonald is hurt. And Odyssey Sims just tweaked something, too. Basically, the Fever locker room looks more like a hospital ward than a playoff team. They needed bodies desperately. So who do they call? Ariel Powers.
Cheryl Reeve actually coming out and saying some slick stuff about her. So it was crazy what was going on between the two. And it boiled over so bad that Cheryl Reeve actually took her out of the game and started making her play like 10 minutes, 12 minutes a game. Now, she did get injured in 2022, and then she had to come back in 2023 off of that injury. So it was kind of like probably like a Aaliyah Edwards moment a little bit with Kiki Arifin, where she kind of lost her starting position. So it was kind of like that too. You're taking your top scorer, by the way, your top scorer, and making her play less minutes. I don't know what was going on between the two, but man, they did not like each other.
Now, here's where things get juicy. Ariel Powers didn't just magically appear out of nowhere. She's been around. She's been a proven scorer in the league. And yes, she was once the top scorer for Cheryl Reeve's Minnesota Lynx. And what happened? She got benched. Reeve and Powers clashed so badly that, by the end, Ariel was playing 10, maybe 12 minutes a game. Not because she wasn't talented. She absolutely was. But because Reeve decided she couldn't deal with her anymore. That's how toxic it got. And we're not talking about little disagreements here. We're talking about Reeve openly throwing shade, Powers clapping back, and the whole situation spilling into the public eye to the point where Ariel was basically saying, "Get me off this team. I don't want to be here anymore." You don't usually see players air that out while still under contract, but Powers made it clear. And Reeve? Well, she wasn't exactly inviting Ariel over for dinner either.
Y'all, when I tell you she better not be sitting by me, this would be crazy. We're getting closer and closer to the door. Excuse me. Oh, this is my seat, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? How crazy is that? Now she's switching with her wife.
One of the funniest, yet most telling moments of that feud came off the court. There was literally a fight where Ariel Powers and Cheryl Reeve had to sit next to each other. Guess what happened? Reeve switched seats with her wife just so she wouldn't have to sit beside Powers. You can't make this up. That's not just professional tension. That's I can't even stand breathing the same recycled airplane air as you. That level of pettiness is elite. Fast forward to now, and guess what? Ariel is with the Indiana Fever. The same Indiana Fever that Cheryl Reeve already has beef with because of Caitlin Clark. Remember, Reeve was one of the people who left Caitlin Clark off the Olympic roster. And Indiana fans haven't exactly forgiven her for that. So now you've got a double whammy. Caitlin Clark and Ariel Powers on one side, Cheryl Reeve and her powerhouse Lynx on the other. Oh boy! Let's talk about why this is such a powder keg. Cheryl Reeve has been salty all season about the MVP conversation. Indiana showed up to a game wearing Kelsey Mitchell MVP shirts, surprising Mitchell herself.
You're aware of what your teammates were going to do in terms of the T-shirt?
No. Oh my goodness. I was taken back. It was fun. It was funny. I was very humbled. I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with. And to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know because I have been here the longest. I have, everything that people talk about, I have been. And to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere. And I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa. And so that value means everything to me. And
it was meant as a show of support, but Reeve wasn't having it. She went full glasses on top of the head mode, lecturing the media that MVPs come from the best team. And guess what? Her Lynx are the best team. She threw shade at Kelsey Mitchell at Iowa Wilson and basically said, now Fiza Collier is the MVP, period.
Shepard became the 19th player in WNBA history to record a triple-double with less than at least 11 field goal attempts. We were just speaking last time out about role players and their strengths and how they're really a huge component to championship teams. Recently with Feud being out, there's been a lot of talk online and, as far as media and fans, as far as the MVP race. I was just kind of wondering from your perspective, game in and game out, what say you to those who try to discredit Feud's MVP race campaign because of having a talented roster and a franchise that cares about investment?
Yeah. It's pretty simple. We're not 23-4 through the first, whatever part of the season without Nafisa Collier. We don't have one of the greatest 50-game runs, standing from last year to this year and then, historic beginning to the season. And I'd say that, because our roster is constructed in such a way to win a championship, which is understanding you got to have more than an MVP on your team to be successful. But we're not in the place that we're in. We have I don't know what our game lead is in first place. MVPs come from the best team, and this best team has about a 6-game lead on the rest of the league. Nafisa Collier is the reason why.
So, if you're keeping score, Reeve already thinks Indiana is delusional for hyping Mitchell. She's already at odds with Clark. And now Indiana signs one of her former players, a player she literally couldn't sit next to on a plane. Oh! The basketball gods have a wicked sense of humor. And here's the kicker. Ariel Powers isn't some scrub off the bench. When she's locked in, she can flat out hoop. Back in her Lynx days, she was putting up double-digit scoring nights, hitting big threes, and bullying her way to the rim. She averaged over 14 points per game in 2022. This isn't some charity signing. The Fever may have stumbled into a wild card weapon, and you better believe Powers is going to want revenge when she faces her old coach. Now, let's zoom in on why this beef even started in the first place. From what insiders say, it wasn't about talent. It was about attitude. Reeve is a control freak. She runs the Lynx with an iron fist. And if you don't fit her vision, you're out. Powers? She's a personality. She's outspoken. She engages with fans online. She says what's on her mind. That's not Reeve's style. She wants players to fit into her system quietly, not rock the boat. And Powers? Let's just say she rocks the boat, capsizes it, and then tweets about it afterward. S.O. Naturally, when the two collided, it was never going to be pretty. And it wasn't. Reeve benched her, minutes plummeted, and the relationship basically burned to the ground. And now the history is resurfacing, just in time for Indiana and Minnesota to meet again. Think about what's at stake here. For Powers, this is personal. She's got the chance to prove that Reeve was wrong to sideline her. Every jumper she makes, every three she hits, every bucket she scores is going to feel like a "how do you like me now" moment aimed directly at Reeve. And for Reeve, she's going to coach this game like it's the finals. She'll tell her Lynx players to smother Powers, frustrate her, make her look bad, because the last thing Reeve wants to watch Ariel Powers succeed on another team, especially Indiana. And let's not forget, Indiana is desperate. With half the roster down, they don't have the luxury of easing Powers in. She's going to get minutes whether she's fully adjusted to the system or not. That means she'll have the ball in her hands, she'll be taking shots, and she'll be in the spotlight. Perfect condition for drama. It's also wild when you think about the optics. The Fever already have the league buzzing because of Caitlin Clark. Every little thing Clark does gets magnified, and now they've added another lightning rod in Ariel Powers, who's stepping right back into the spotlight with a coach who can't stand her. This isn't just basketball. It's soap opera TV with a scoreboard. And here's where I have to laugh. The Fever, bless their hearts, probably thought they were just adding depth. They probably didn't think about the PR storm they were stepping into. But now, every time Indiana plays Minnesota, the cameras are going to cut to Reeve's face every time Powers scores. Every single time. And the internet is going to have a field day with it. And look, I get it. Cheryl Reeve isn't completely wrong. Her Lynx have been dominant. Nafisa Collier has been an MVP-level player. Jessica Shepard just dropped a triple-double. Kayla McBride is a sniper who barely moves a net when she hits threes. That team is stacked. But here's the thing. If you're that good, why are you so pressed about Indiana? Why are you so pressed about Ariel Powers? That's the funny part. Reeve is coaching a juggernaut, and yet she still finds time to shade the Fever every chance she gets. That's obsession, plain and simple. And let's be honest, Powers knows how to use this to her advantage. She's active online. She engages with fans. She'll take this beef and run with it. A viral TikTok here, a snarky tweet there, and suddenly she's the face of the Reeve Revenge Tour. Every fan who doesn't like Reeve, every Caitlin Clark supporter still mad about Team USA. They're all going to rally behind Powers. And that's the last thing Reeve wants. Powers turning into a folk hero for Indiana fans, and so now here we are. Indiana desperate for wins. Powers desperate for revenge. Reeve desperate to prove she's still in control. And Caitlin Clark waiting in the wings to return. It's the perfect storm, and we're only halfway through the story. Now, let's get into how this beef could explode once the Fever and Lynx actually hit the court. Think about it. Ariel Powers checks in. The cameras immediately swing to Cheryl Reeve, and you know she's already rolling her eyes before Powers even takes her first shot. That's the type of tension that doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It bubbles up and colors every possession. For Powers, this isn't just a 7-day contract. It's a stage. Every drive to the hoop, every jumper, every defensive hustle play is going to be viewed through the lens of, can she get her revenge on Reeve? If she goes off for 20-plus points, the storyline writes itself. Indiana's overlooked recruit just embarrassed her old coach. If she struggles, you can bet Reeve will smirk in the press conference like, "See? That's why she's gone." There's no middle ground here, and let's not pretend Reeve won't weaponize her roster. Minnesota is stacked with defensive depth. Kayla McBride, Courtney Williams, Bridget Carlton. They got bodies to throw at Powers all night. You can almost hear Reeve telling her squad, don't let her get hot. Don't give her that headline. And honestly, that's part of the drama. The Lynx don't just want to win. They want to make sure Powers looks ordinary. But here's the thing. Powers thrives on this kind of chaos. She's never been the quiet, system-fitting player. She's vocal, she's fiery, and she feeds off proving people wrong. That's why this matchup is so intriguing. She's not walking into this as a role player, just happy to have a jersey. She's walking in ready to prove a point, ready to torch the team that benched her, and ready to show Indiana fans why she belongs. The bigger question is whether the Fever can even support her in this effort. With so many injuries, Indiana is basically piecing together lineups with duct tape. Caitlin Clark, still sidelined, would normally take defensive pressure off everyone else. Aaliyah Boston, when locked in, is a dominant inside presence. But let's be real, her inconsistency has been frustrating. And Kelsey Mitchell? She's doing her best, but defenses know she's a primary engine. That leaves Powers in an awkward but potentially golden spot. She'll get more touches simply because the Fever don't have much else. It's almost poetic. The same coach who once limited her minutes might end up watching her take on a massive role because Indiana has no choice. And that's why fans are buzzing, because this isn't just about two people not liking each other. It's about the basketball gods lining up the circumstances so perfectly that we have to pay attention. Another layer to this. Indiana Fever fans already hate Cheryl Reeve. They'll boo her every time the Lynx come to town. They'll roast her online. And they'll never forget the Caitlin Clark Olympic snub. Add Ariel Powers into that mix. And suddenly Indiana has two reasons to turn every Fever versus Lynx matchup into a grudge match. This isn't just a regular season game anymore. It's personal warfare with a scoreboard. Now, from Reeve's perspective, she probably sees this whole storyline as beneath her. She's coaching the best team in the league, with Collier putting up MVP numbers, with McBride hitting net-snapping threes, and with Jessica Shepard dishing out triple-doubles. On paper, she shouldn't even care what Indiana does. But here's the truth. She does care. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't be shading Indiana's MVP talks. She wouldn't be dismissing Kelsey Mitchell, and she wouldn't be moving airplane seats to avoid Powers. The receipts are there in Indiana. They're loving every second of it. They get to play the underdog role while fanning the flames of the feud. Every Ariel Powers bucket will be hyped like a championship moment, and every Fever fan will be screaming online about how Reeve underestimated her. It's fuel. And if there's one thing Indiana needs right now, it's fuel. But here's the twist. What if this beef actually motivates the Lynx even more? What if Reeve's players buy into the narrative and treat every matchup with Indiana as a personal mission to back their coach? Suddenly, you got the Fever playing against not just a stacked team, but a team emotionally charged to shut down one of their former teammates. That's dangerous. This is why the upcoming games matter so much. It's not just about playoff positioning anymore. It's about pride. Can Ariel Powers rise above and show she still belongs at a high level? Or will Cheryl Reeve get the last laugh, proving that she was right to move on? The answer won't just impact the box score. It'll ripple through fan bases, social media, and maybe even Indiana's future roster moves. So, here's the question. Will Ariel Powers use this chance to shut Cheryl Reeve up once and for all, or will Reeve's Lynx expose her again? Either way, this isn't just basketball. It's a full-blown soap opera with sneakers. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button, and subscribe for more WNBA drama breakdowns. The popcorn is ready.